here we are, JP.
Hey, Katie.
How are you?
I have to take my phone out of the room.
Oh, okay. Just take it out here. Hang on.
Oh.
There we go. Try that now.
Oh, is that better now?
Yeah, I think I fixed it.
Oh, great. Okay.
I fixed it.
Great. And look at us.
I know. Look at how
matchy.
I know. We're so formal wear. Let me put this on this side. There we go. This. How are you?
I am actually really terrific. Terrific.
That's good.
Yes.
Same.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
I mean, I'm good. I'm good. Busy, as you know, how busy we are. Let me try and get my hair out of my eyes. Hang on. That makes my mom crazy. When I fool around with my bangs. Look, Janice, everyone is here.
Yes, and we all have a question for you.
You do?
About your hair.
What is it?
What is your goal this time?
I don't know.
What length do you want to get to?
I don't know. I don't know.
I love it the way it is.
Just like this.
Yeah, I do. But, everyone can put in their comments at some point, shorter, longer, whatever. But I think we're just wondering what you feel about your hair.
I don't know. I'm just growing it. I think I'm growing it out to cut it all off again.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Okay. Who knows? Who knows?
It's very cute.
Thank you so much. I like bringing back the bob.
Yes.
I like bringing back the bob. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you know what? The beauty of hair is that you can grow it out, shave it off, grow it out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I am wearing a holiday brooch. Oh. I noticed that you are wearing your layers.
Yes, and I'm wearing a poetry.
You're wearing poetry, which I love.
Yeah, I'm wearing it as a necklace.
Oh, it looks great. Yeah. And everybody is so, so kind.
Aren't they? Yes.
In the comments. That's very kind, everybody. Yeah. So, yes, people are nice. So Janice, we had a launch this morning. As you know.
Yes, we did. We did have a launch this morning.
Yes.
And we launched things that we just got, and usually, it's going to take us a couple. We launched them in 24 hours. I don't know how we did it.
We did.
But we did.
We did. And I have them here for you. And let's talk a little bit. Maybe I should turn this so it's a little better. We launched some new pearls because we know how much you folks love pearls.
Yes.
Let me turn this. And we love pearls. We have also launched, let me get this a little closer. Like this. There we go. We've launched the pearls. We have launched a new clasp, and we've got something to reveal about this new clasp. I have the new poetry project that we're kind of calling the contemporary poetry that uses this clasp. But first, let me talk to you about these pearls. Let's get that out of the way. I want to measure them. We have 6, if I could count. Who are all of you people? All of you people, and what are you doing in my computer? We launched 6 new flavors, and one of them is this kind of really bright pink that I'm kind of loving. I know it's a polarizing color, but I think it would look great mixed with like a black for the poetry, or I don't know, kind of another bright color. You know how I'm kind of loving all of those neons lately. So we have this really great dyed pink. Then we have a silver. We have 2 creams. a large potato and a small, and then two kind of peacock colors. Maybe if I put them in here. Yeah, the pink would be great with a navy blue thread. It would look great with a navy, I think. Really fantastic. And they should, Terry's asking, will it shed? I don't think it will, though. While Janice is talking, I'm going to do a quick test to double check to make sure, but I think we should be good on it. The thing now with pearls and all stones that we call enhanced, it has it's come a long way, the enhancement of pearls, for sure. I have a few of the poetry, the original poetry here. And then we've got this new clasp. And Janice made a decision. Janice, do you want to talk about the decision, the company decision that we made about this clasp and about Danielle's box?
Okay, so Danielle is launching a mystery box in January, and pretty much really everything is included in the kit. And
yeah, the winter renewal box that we're sold out now, but many of you have it.
Yeah. So, and then not too soon after, we will, for those who want more supplies or who didn't get the box, we'll be able to order a lot of the things on this first mystery box. But one of the things that wasn't put into the mystery box was a clasp for one of the projects that Danielle's going to do. That's a bracelet. And we found a clasp we liked. And we decided, it wasn't going to be in the box because it was, at the time, it was quite expensive. And we thought, okay, we'll sell it separately because many people will have a clasp. And then I found a clasp that was it's affordable. It's quite affordable. And Kate and I were kind of going back and forth. How do we sell it? How do we make sure that everybody who gets the box gets the clasp? What if, I'm always that, what if I think of myself, I go, oh, I'm on vacation. I didn't get a chance to get the clasp. You're out of stock now. How am I supposed to do that?
How am I going to get it?
Yeah. And then I didn't order it in time. And so I said, Kate, let's just include one with every mystery.
Yeah. Let's just include
throw it in. And so we are throwing this clasp in for everybody who, just one in brass, for everyone who ordered the box. So you don't have to get it today if you want it for the box project.
Yes.
But we have silver and copper and gunmetal and some brass, antique brass. And we think they would look great on a poetry. So we launched it today, and we're going to use it today in the project. So make a long story short, that's the story. That's the story of this little clasp.
So Danielle will use this. We're probably going to use it in the project. She has a project earmarked for it in her box, and we'll probably do this one on the Bead Shop channel. We'll see what happens with that. But you will get, when you receive your winter renewal box, it'll have a little another little envelope in it that has this that says gift for you, etc. So that's what this clasp is all about. And I want to show you the size. You may be familiar with our little clasp that's called Cuties, right? It's a little round one that we love. This is similar to the Cutie, but it has a little more shape to it. And it's super strong. When I was trying to photograph it, they kept coming together in like this mass.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give the photo another stab eventually, but they're really super strong. I love them. So this is a 7 millimeter, and then before the hole, it's a little under 6, and with the holes, let me see if I can get it there. It's a little under 12, and the hole in the clasp itself, can you see that? It's pretty generous. Let me see if I can measure it. It's about 1.6.
Oh,
Okay,
that's nice.
right there. So it's a nice size. So you could use it with leather too, right? Put the leather through and silk wrap or something below. But so we've got it in the brass, which is the one that you folks that ordered the kit, brass figures in Danielle's components in her kit. So we wanted to match that. Then we have the bright gold. We have the antique copper. We have the gunmetal, which I'm using today. We are back ordered on the antique silver, but we'll get it in when we have it, when our supplier has it. So I wanted to first report back on the tester for the pink pearls. Not a drop, not a transfer. So I think we're good to go on those.
That's great.
I feel like one of those commercials, like where they pour, like a Bounty commercial or whatever. But so not a drop. So we're good to go on these pink. I'm excited to use them with some navy. I think that would look amazing. So Janice, talk a little bit about the poetry project that you've done. This is a Janice project, a bead shop classic. Would you talk about it a bit while I kind of play around with what we've got going on for our contemporary as we contemporary it up?
So, gosh, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 20, 15. Everything feels 15 or 20 years ago.
I know, right?
But I was up, everyone, you've heard me talk about my godchildren, and then I have god babies, which are the children of the godchildren. But my second goddaughter is Chelsea, who's a huge yoga fanatic. And I was up at her house. I'd go up every Friday to help babysit the newborn god babies. And one day I saw her wearing a bracelet that I really fell in love with. And it was basically a poetry bracelet, and it was on black thread, and it was white pearls, and it was multiple times around her wrist, and she wore it everywhere. She never took it off. I have two goddaughters, and one I could give the finest antique jewelry to and nothing would break. I could give Chelsea a rubber band and somehow it would break. She's very tough on her jewelry. And so I figured, well, this is a pretty strong design. If Chelsea can wear it and she keeps wearing it. And so I had done a project several years earlier called How to Make a Micro Float. And I'll link that in just a minute. And that was really, it's actually micro macrame. And that was really my first foray into micro macrame. And I just fell in love with it. And Kate, this was after you had started Bidissimo, right?
Yeah, this was after
your first 10 years.
Yes, after my first 10 years. My hiatus,
your
as I
hiatus at at Bidissimo.
That's right.
So let's see. So I like the design, and I figured out my own spin on it. And the first one that I made was, let me go to projects, and I'm going to go to bracelets, and then I'm going down to poetry. So you can see from the one I'm wearing that you can easily wear it as a necklace.
Mhm.
Um, and the first, I'm going to just link the poetry page for you. Kate, we don't have a page for today's
Not
sample.
yet, not yet,
Okay.
not yet. We will have one. I didn't want to finish it all, but I'll tell everybody what it is that we're using. It's basically all the new stuff, and then there'll be a project page after
Okay.
post show.
Okay. So the one that was the original sample is that one right in front, which is called the one on the, I think, no, that's Peignoir. But the first one, it's a lovely name. The first one was Poetry and Pearls.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
that
was similar to this.
it's like, it was burgundy. And I want to say it was on tough cord. That's how long ago.
Yeah.
We now have it on, we've put a recommended micro Ceylon and sienna, which is very close. But we don't have that original pearl button anymore. They're not as easy as they used to be to
No,
get.
they sure aren't.
Can you show us a close up of the pearl button?
Yeah, I'm just getting there.
Okay.
We do have the pearl button still in a gold, I believe, Janice. We'll redouble our efforts to try and find that. I just wanted to show you this here. This is the one with just a silver
Right.
color there. And let me zoom in on this. You can use,
Kate, I have doubled my efforts. I've even tripled
yeah,
them to try
I
and
know.
find them. And they
They're not,
seem to stop making them because it's a very unique
there we go.
shape that's only drilled in the center, and it has to be
Right, see, it's this one.
fairly thick to be a button. So,
And the ones that we've seen are really the nacre on
yeah,
the pearl itself. They're not great,
yeah,
but you never know what'll pop up, what we'll
that's
find.
right. That's
But
right.
we have these with a variety of different buttons. We've got that nice kind of plain silver button that's really
Mhm.
similar to this. That would look great. You can use a decorative button that you have, a vintage button from your stash. These are all with micro Ceylon, and this is Janice's kind of classic poetry project. You can also do it with semi-precious beads. However you want to interpret it, I think it works really, really well. And what Janice also said about using it as a bracelet as well as a necklace, um, you know, would look great. I'm trying to get this one out here. This one has some semi-precious, some 4mm and some 6mm. You could also use glass beads for these, right, Janice? 6
Yes.
and 4.
You can use anything. And
Mhm.
if the
There's
bead
that.
has a big hole and you're doing your macrame,
Mhm.
and it seems like the macrame knots go over, I mean, the bead goes over the knots, you can take 2 of your threads and put them on the outside and capture the bead underneath it.
Mhm.
Or you can put all of your beads inside and knot above it and below it.
Mhm.
But it's almost, I mean, we've used this. This is your basic, macrame bead,
Mhm.
macrame bead. It's just, this is your basic, where we sprung all of our, macrame projects from, Bollywood, all of them. And today what's making it more modern than usual. I want to call it mid-century. Is that you're doing it on Softflex?
I am. And this is really similar to the project that I did for the Softflex Customer Appreciation Week. We did that. We macrameed over the base of Softflex, and it just looks so great. So let me show you what it is and show you how this all goes together, because it's kind of a fun way to update it. So let me, whoops, that's me. Let me do
That's you.
this. There we go. So let me get these out of the way for the moment. So pretty. We have so many of these, which are great. Look at this, kind of this soft white. This is the way to do Cloud Dancer, with a little bit of color to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me started on the color of the year. Don't get me started. Okay, so what I'm using for today's project is I am using the Softflex beading wire, and I'm using it in the fine, the 0.014, because that's what the pearls really fit best on. Okay. So instead of stringing them on the base, when we do it like this, the poetry here, we string it on the base of microcelon. We string the pearls on the microcelon. We have the microcelon come out from the top, and then we use those tails to macrame. Okay. The difference with this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mock up this pink and navy one. It's very, very Chanel. Let me focus this real quick. There we go. And maybe I'll use, a gold. Is that too much?
Let's see. I'm looking for the link. Oh, I want to give everyone the link to the handout.
Okay. I'm going to go for the gold, because also the gold is very Chanel.
This is a great handout.
It is a great, well, all of our handouts, if I do say, Janice, especially the ones that you have headed up, are really fantastic.
You mean where I obsessed over them?
Well, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes I'm a little too slapdash, and you are very detail oriented. So we
work well together.
out. Yes. So let me cut these. And what you do is you start with the length plus a little bit more. So if this is just going to be, let's say that this is just going to be a single wrap. Okay. It's not going to be a multiple, though it could be. I'm going to cut 10 inches of my Softflex beading wire. Okay. About 10.
Is that enough?
I know. I'll cut 12. Does that make you feel better?
That makes me feel more comfortable.
Okay. All right. I'll cut 12. Sounds perfect. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slide my clasp on, and I'm going to clamp here at the end, right here. And I'm going to clamp, and I'm going to put a little, just a little something here on this end to kind of buffer, right, the Softflex, so that my clamp doesn't damage it. But the way I'm clamping too, it shouldn't damage the Softflex.
The other thing that you could do, Kate, for those who are making, a multi-wrap, is you could put like a loop in the ends, make it longer, and then use a twine or a string to tie it on the back of the board.
Yeah, you could. I'll show you how I would do that. First, I want to add this clasp on, and then I'm going to reattach it to the board. So I'll show you. But that's a great tip there. So here's my end of my Softflex right here. I'm going to come down maybe an inch from that. I'm going to grab this might be micro, might be fine, whatever. You could have micro, you could have fine, you could have regular. This is the navy. And I'm going to cut 2 yards, okay? Because it's easy to add thread, but I'm going to cut 2 yards of that. Now, what we're doing here is we're creating the loop. This one that I have that's a little more of a rustic pearl. Can you see here? I've created kind of a big loop there as the closure. I might on this one make that loop a little tinier. So as Janice says, it's not so agricultural, right? She likes to say that. But I wanted this loop on this one to be kind of big so you could kind of see it. But here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of my thread, which is right here. I'm going to bring it around the back, and I'm going to macrame. I'm going to see what 4 knots look like around my soft flex. So there's 1, here's 2, that makes 1 full macrame knot. I'm going to do another set, 1 and 2. The new ones, Sharon, that I am using on that other, they do have a flat, kind of a flat bottom to them, but you could use any pearl you like. Right, there we go. Is that a little bit better? This is much smaller than what I was doing. So that's another pair. I'm going to go, I think I'm going to do 4 pair or 8 individual knots. Then we're going to pass this thread through the clasp, and we're going to mirror that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of the clasp. Now, you could, let's say that you wanted to use a soft flex color. We have the soft flex in a whole bunch of colors in the 0.014. You could simply crimp this loop onto the end of that clasp, right? You don't have to macrame it on. You could just crimp it. But see there, I've got a short little grouping. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass these tails through the clasp like that, and through the clasp on the other leg like this. And if you don't make this a multi-wrap, if you just make this a single bracelet that you stack with other items, it will go really fast. There we go. So see how I'll move my fingers out of the way. So there's the end of my soft flex. There's my 4 pairs or 8 individual flat macrame knots. Sliding my clasp up, clamping it back down, and now making 8 more below this clasp. Okay, that's the first thing. And again, I could have maybe made this loop even a little bit smaller, but the shank on this clasp is a little wide, right? I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And we've got plenty of the 0.14 in colors.
So, Kate, actually, we have in 019, we have colors.
Oh, I'm sorry. 019. I'm sorry. You're
That's
right.
Okay.
You're right. The 014 is the thinner. So
are you using the 014 or the 019?
This is the 014 right here.
Okay.
But you could use the 019 as well. I just used the 14 because that's what I had. But we'll get that back in.
Yeah.
And especially if you want to use a color on the end, like I did in that Talking to Bees kit, you could. What side is the right one? Gosh, after using the regular seal-on, it is small here.
This must be the micro.
Yeah, I think it is the micro. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this over. And I'm going to bring these two together. Okay. And what I do here, it's kind of a nifty trick. I'm going to clamp that closed. I'm going to add, like you were saying, Janice, to wrap around the board. I'm going to put an extra piece of thread there so I can get everything nice and tight and clamped onto my board. Okay. And I'm going to macrame these together with about 2 or 3, maybe 4 of the flat pairs of flat macrame knots.
So when you do that, Kate, the macrame, the open ends that you have are actually on the bottom thread, and the ones you're going to macrame around and that first knot are on top, correct?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because see, this is where I've finished. So those are going to be on the bottom, and I'm going to come around and I'm going to macrame to close these up. You're just seeing kind of the side view there.
Right.
What I'm also going to do here, Janice, is I'm going to add a little bit of glue, because this is, if there's a weak spot in this design, especially with the soft flex, because it's a little slippery, more slippery.
Yeah, slippery.
Is that what I'm trying to say? I'm going to add that GS, if I can get this out. I'm going to add that GS there and there so that when I macrame around it, it'll have some glue on the interior. And then I will glue it again after I'm done. So I'm going to kind of turn that to the side, bring this thread around. So now I'm macrameing those 2 ends together. Okay, like that. And then I'll do about, I said 4 pair. Let's see what that looks like. And I'm macrameing right over the glue. I want to push that up a little bit so I don't see any gaps in there. I'm going to add a little, now that they're together, a little bit more glue. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
There we go. And now we're just going to macrame that down. Okay. Like this. And this. Okay. So I'm not going to screw around yet with cutting away the GS, right? I really want where I've glued it to set. But what I am going to do is I'm going to slide this extra piece away, okay? And I'm going to start to put my pearls on. So you can see here with this larger one, see how I've got the clasp. That loop is greatly enlarged, so you can see what that looks like, kind of larger. I took out the piece of soft flex that was in the loop. This I can clip away because it's been sitting for quite some time, overnight actually. I'm going to come in, I'm going to try not to clip my thread.
You're out of frame.
Oh, sorry. Am I in? Let me zoom out. I'm going to pull this, clip it under tension if I can without clipping the extra seal on there. And so you can see that is good to go.
And is that regular Ceylon or what?
This is regular that I used here.
So look at it next to the micro. Look at how much better the micro looks.
Well, I also think, Janice, with this heavier one, these pearls that I'm using are kind of rough, you know? So I think that it matches, especially if you're doing this like for a guy or someone who likes a little more of a,
that's
contemporary feel, right? I mean, look at how great that looks on the wrist.
Yeah.
And if you stack it with like some of our other, this is the chain reaction that's just sitting there. Look at how great that looks together. So I think whatever you choose to work with, and then here's some like just little plain macrame bracelets, right? This would all look kind of cool together. You could also, Janice, this is with Chinese knotting cord here. So if you want your macrame to have a little more definition, go ahead and use 0.4 or 0.5 Chinese knotting cord, right? If you really want those stitches to have more definition.
But I don't think the knotting cord the Chinese knotting cord will fit through the pearls.
But remember, we're not fitting the pearls on the cord. We're fitting the pearls on the soft flex.
We are, but if someone wanted to make a classic poetry,
correct,
they would have to string with something else down the center.
Correct.
Like we are today. Like
correct.
One strand of Ceylon regular, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyway.
But this right here, using the soft flex in tandem with this project allows us to string whatever we want, macrame with whatever we want. So I'm going to put a few of these pink ones on, and then you just need to decide how many knots you want in between. I did, I think, 2 full knots for this other one. This one, let's just see what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring this one up. I kind of have to push it up because I don't want to quite cut that off yet. So I'm going to kind of push that to the side. I'm going to bring this navy thread down around the pearls, and I'm just going to tie my first macrame knot. So I'm going to go my loops to the left, underneath, come up, and tighten it up like that. Okay. Now I'm going to do a second one below it. And maybe you want a little more because these pearls or this thread is a little thinner. So that's one set. That's 2 knots. There's 3 and 4. Let me do a 5 and a 6. Okay, let's just see what that gives us. That's 5. And this is 6. Whoops. Now we're going to slide up another. And see, we can kind of look. That's a nice length. That's maybe about 3/4 of the length of the pearl. You could also make it match maybe the length, but I'm going to go with that. And let's see. This navy, I know it's a little hard to see on camera, but the navy is really quite elegant. I am going to get rid of a little bit of this tail because it's getting in my way.
I love how the dark thread frames the pearl.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, another thing that I want to just point out, and this comes with experience, is that when you're doing those macrame knots underneath a bead, if you pull it really tight and you're working on a bead that doesn't have ridges like a melon bead, something that is, if you're working on a smooth bead, it's very easy to pull that macrame thread so tight that the two threads just literally come together. They
End up
don't,
on one side, right?
yeah, they don't have it. You've made the knots so tight that they just can come together, and it's kind of an irritation, although it can happen over time where they just migrate towards each other. But if you notice, Kate has just left a tiny bit of air between the pearl and the first knot. It's close so that the pearl doesn't really move, but it's not so tight that the threads just automatically come together.
Right.
As I clap my hands. You see it best with that first pearl, where if you look at it closely, you can see there's just that little bit of air.
Mm-hmm.
But some pearls make it easy to macrame around, and some you just have to make sure you've left enough room that the threads will stay separated.
Yeah, no, agreed. And it's just something that I think I automatically adjust for.
Yeah, you do.
Because we just have that experience of, macrameing with these pearls. So you can see here, and I'm going to do this last one. Slide this up, bring this around. There's one. There's two. So I'll do 6 half hitches. Now see how that comes kind of loose like that? I've tied the second knot that goes below it, and then I pull that knot tight, and then I just kind of quickly come in and pull that second one. So that was 2. Here's 3 and 4. And here is 5 and 6. 5, there we go. And 6, like that. Okay. So let me show you what we have here is, and I think this is, I want to get rid of this so we can see what that looks like. Get in there and get that clipped. So look at how nice that pearl, I think this clasp really looks good with all of these. So,
and the really nice thing about making a macrame loop is that clasp is, when you go to open it, you want to slide it open rather than pull it open.
mm-hmm.
But even still, because of the macrame and not an end tip, can you pull it apart without sliding it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I guess we have to show it on the other side finished, but that's what's nice about it, is that thread is really,
yeah, super strong.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's a really sturdy clasp, super sturdy. Yeah. So lengthwise, let me tell you what I've got here so far so you can kind of see length, what I have. Where's my, oh, there's my, hang on. Getting my tape measure. My tape measure here, I'm already at 2 1/4 inches. Okay, so this goes pretty quick. I want to show you on the other piece, but look at how great that looks as a stack.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, really pretty. And a lot of our poetries that we've done, we've put, and I haven't done it on this, but you can get like a little briolette or the briolette drops, and it would just add Look at how nice. A little briolet there would be so pretty. Whoops, let me focus this. Would be so pretty to be
Yes.
added onto the end.
Very pretty. We're getting in some new tiara clasps.
We are.
Some buttons. We're getting some things restocked. I know I'm only bringing up the buttons because I'm trying to remember who wanted the transitions and the evolves.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order.
Miranda's like everybody.
Everybody, I know. I'm sorry.
It's hard. I know. No, we're getting them. We're getting them.
We are getting some new things that were not designed by TiaraCast, but are in the TiaraCast category,
Mm-hmm.
and they're made in Greece now. So those are going to be out very shortly.
Mm-hmm. They're so nice. So
Yes.
We'll have those. Yeah. And Terry's also saying it's button week. It is button week here at Bead Shop.
Yes.
They are item of the week, so it's a perfect time to grab some for your stash. Now, I am using these kind of rough pearls. I love these pearls. They are domed on one side and flat on the other. They're kind of a gunmetal color. So if you're thinking that one of your guy friends, like this would be, Chris will wear this. I should make this for Chris's wrist size because he will wear this in a heartbeat. It's such a great like guy bracelet, to kind of do that kind of, world of pearl introduction. I think it would be cool. Terry, I'm reading your comment. The magical thing about pearls is even the ugliest pearl. They're so unique and have such character. I agree with that for sure. And is that the Bali button, Clarissa, that you're asking? Instead of the Bali clasp, the tiara cast, do they still have that?
There's only a Bali button. There's no Bali clasp, and I believe I just reordered it.
Oh, great. Some of the line they didn't pick up. So some things are no longer being carried. And gone are the days when tiara casts were just up the road from us. Oh my goodness. Place an order and it's in your hands the next day. But we're really grateful that the company got picked up and all of those amazing tiara cast pieces are still available to us.
So yeah, if there's something you really want, if you email info@beadshop, throw in a picture if you don't remember the name, and that'll get to
You'll
me.
be able to get it, yeah.
So it's info@beadshop.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to get everything in, but it is expensive, and so I sometimes have to choose, well, are we going to carry antique copper, or are we going to get it in, how many flavors are we going to carry? So if you see something and you go, well, gee, I wish you'd go back to carrying that, I will give it some serious thought, and Kate and I will talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just right now with the still with the tariff situation, with the rising metal prices. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My metalsmithing friends and me, I'm looking at like buying some silver and I'm like, oh. So I'm going to be melting down some of my silver scrap and pouring some ingots after the beginning of the year because I've got a bunch of silver scrap that's just ready to be made into ingots so I can roll it out and use it. But look at how nice this is coming together. I'm going to do this final one and I'm going to measure this out. And I'll show you how to do the clasp on the other side, because I do have that real long loop here. So I think I've done like 3 in between here. So let's do this. Let's take this off. Let's measure.
What is Chris's wrist?
I don't know. Let me measure.
Because let's make it to the size of his wrist, if we can, if we have time.
Yeah, we do. I think we need about 8. He'll come back out here, actually. I'm going to finish macrameing these 3. And then I'll see if I can entice him out here to be my wrist model.
Do you want me to text him?
Maybe. Yeah, why not? Okay. Miranda will be back in. So let me see. I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to holler at him. Hang on.
Oh, so I don't have
to. I got him. No.
Oh, good. I don't have to text.
Do you mind if I use just your wrist to measure here? We're going to make, I've got Chris's wrist. Do you mind putting your wrist closer so everybody can see? So here's my Chris's wrist. There, look, let's hold pause here.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Janice.
Yes, we had a fun birthday. So I'm doing this poetry. How do you like these pearls? You
Love
like
it.
these? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let me bring it around. Look at how great that looks. I'm going to bring it around. I know that this, to fit my Chris's wrist, needs to be a finished length of about right there, right? That feels about right, right? Okay. Thank you. That's what I needed to know. And I'm going to take this finished measurement.
Nice.
So that'll be your a belated birthday gift for you. How does that sound? Yay. Let me get so door to door on Chris's wrist. This is about 8 3/4 is what I need to make this fit to. Okay. So I'm going to measure this side over here with this clasp and this. This is about 1 inch. And this section of where I macrameed here is about 3/4. So I need to, what did I say? It was 8 3/4. So I need to stop this pearl when this bracelet stops at 8 inches. Sharon, he does have a great voice. He does. Sometimes I make him read aloud.
You know, Kate, you can also take a piece of paper and measure out and put 2 marks for 8 3/4.
Right.
And then you can just put your if you're like me visually, you need to see it. And then you really know how many pearls you need, how much you need. It just like, you can look at it and you'll know.
Right.
And you don't have to do any high math.
Well, I'm going to say, if I bring this here, I need to go to about here. This is about 1, 2, 3 inches, 3 inches worth of pearls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to add 6 more pearls, and then I'm going to see where I'm at. I've got 3 here, like what Danielle did, Janice, on Wednesday when she had measured her herringbone and figured out how many of the Dickens mix she needed, and she was just rattling off numbers right and left. It was incredible.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the Wednesday show, I'll tell you.
It's really great.
It is. Oh, that's so nice. All of Chris's birthday wishes. Thank you so much for that. He had a really nice birthday. We still celebrate. We like to celebrate those birthday months. But thank you. I'm very, very fortunate, and we are very fortunate at Bead Shop to have Chris's steadying hand and his inventory expertise. He does a great job. So let's quickly do these 6. Now, Janice, I am going to put us up. Would you talk a little bit maybe about the spacing and stuff, or some other, do you have some other pearls of wisdom for the poetry while I'm that cracked Miranda up?
Well, one thing we haven't talked about is my favorite thread to do a poetry in, and that's KO. I love the tinier the stitches, the better. And so I want you to imagine how long how many times you want to wrap around your wrist.
Right.
I love a 6 wrap with really tiny pearls and tiny KO knots. And so you basically have 2 measurements you have to remember. You have to remember the measurement of how many times it goes around your wrist, 3 times or 4 times or 5 times or 6 times. That's a length. Plus, I always, with something like this, I'll always give myself an extra 10 or 12 inches. And then the other side to this thread is how long the ends have to be to macrame around the beads. And that's a lot longer than the measurement around your wrist, because you're going back and forth with knots. So if I needed, let's say I have it's sort of hard to do this without just hearing my voice, and I'm not doing any math on paper. But let's say you wanted to do my wrist with room for me to, put my fingers underneath the thread of the bracelet. I would make each wrap around my wrist would be like 7 main or 7 1/4, but let's just say it's 7. And I want to do it 5 times. So 7 times 5 is 35. So for the macrame, not the macrame, but the part that's going to go through the beads, that has to be doubled because I'm using my KO double to go through the pearls.
Right. So instead of the base would not be this
right
soft flex, you're doing it in the traditional poetry way where the base is the thread.
Right. And I linked the handout, the original handout, but it's in any one of the poetry samples. You'll see a link that says handout. So the length of the part of your thread that's going to go through the pearls is, because you've doubled it over, is 80 inches, but with it doubled, it's 40. You need twice that much for the macrame. So the macrame tails are really twice as long as your 5 wraps going around. And all of this is done with one piece of thread.
Right. And when you're setting it up to string.
Yes. And it's in the handout how you find where you find the halfway point in that long piece of thread. You string on your pearls. Then you go around the clasp and you have these long tails, and those tails then become the macrame threads around. After the last pearl you put on is where you start the macrame, and your needle is down by the first pearl.
Right.
We can do this again sometime.
It would be fun to get a really fine, small pearl, Janice, that's really that really floats your pearl boat.
Yeah, like a 4mm.
Yeah, something really, and
4 to
then we could
5
just make that
millimeter.
5 wrap. It would just be
Yeah.
gorgeous. We'll keep our eye out for that
Yeah.
because this classic poetry like this, even like with this, look at just this really nice round. The ones that we have in now, they're selling pretty quickly, but we've got these gray ones that would look really nice like this. We've got, or the peacock, and then we've got this gray. We did launch these as well. This is a nice one if you just want to have that classic poetry look. These 3 that we just launched are great choices for that. Now, while you were talking, JP, I was able to, this is dead on 8 inches right here. So now I'm going to do the clasp, and this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 macrame knots, or 3 full square knots. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. No, I did that wrong.
Did you do 2 extra?
No. Nope. This, what I'm macrameing now, is what holds the loop closed. So hang on. I wasn't thinking ahead quite enough. So bear with me here. We're also going to need to add thread. It's a real bummer that I didn't cut just a little extra, but that's my own fault. I'm going to come in.
How much did you cut of the thread?
You know, I have no idea when I cut it, to be honest.
Let's imagine you cut 12 inches of soft flex. Did you cut 2 yards? I think you said you cut 2 yards.
I probably cut about 2 yards here of this, maybe less. I would make sure though that you get a lot, but I'm going to add. It's not going to be the end of the world. So see, here's the closure, right? The loop comes together. The loop is here. And then we bring it together and we macrame it down. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I am going to start a new piece of thread, and I'm going to start up right here, right? Kind of like we did when we started it. Remember, we put the clasp on, we added some thread, and we started to macrame down. So
can you come a lot closer? So is there a way we can see it better?
Yeah, let me adjust the camera here. Let me do this. Just stick with me on this. You'll see. Okay. So I'm going to unclasp this so it's easier to deal with. I'm going to clamp this up here. And I'm not worrying about damaging the soft flex because this is going to get cut off. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to use, and I did decide to make it bigger, Wendy. If this had only been that one length.
Yes, if you had kept it like for yourself, it would have been enough thread.
Yeah. So see, I'm doing it down here. And I'm going to come in with a new piece. Where's my black thread? Let me see if I can find it.
Black or navy?
No, it's the navy was the other one. This was the black regular.
Oh, okay.
I just need to find what I did with it. Here it is. It's right here. I'm going to cut another, I don't know, a lot. It doesn't need to be that much. So the pearl that I'm using, Stam Hilly, is this one, the the new one, the rough, what did we call it? The
new
big one.
It is called
It's
silver gray flat nugget pearls.
That's the one. And then Janice, Trudy has a quick question while I pull this together.
Okay.
How many strands would you need for a 3, 4, or 5 wrap poetry?
Hold that thought just a minute, because I'm going to be able to tell you exactly. I don't think you really need more than one strand, but it depends on the size. So let me go to the poetry.
And it depends on how close you're macrameing.
It is. It is. And how large the pearls are.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go to poetry, and I'm going to go to the original. Well, I'm going to go to the original poetry, or one of them, in new gray, and one strand.
Mm-hmm.
And I used micro Ceylon on that one. And then let's look at poetry in green tea. And that uses round garnets, a strand of green garnets. But at the time, they were
8-inch.
They were long inch strands.
Oh, they were 16.
Yeah. So all of these are like 15 to 16-inch strands.
Mm-hmm.
Poetry in gray used labradorite, and it used one strand of rounds. So a lot of the gemstones now are being sold in 8-inch strands.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to double that, but you'll get a pretty long strand with one strand of pearls. So.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear Alfred? He wants his cats from Miranda.
I am getting so worn out listening to Sadie, like whining for more food.
Oh, Sadie.
I know.
So I'm going to measure. What I'm doing here is so that this will be equal from, oops, I caught that clasp, which I don't want. From the bottom of where this clasp is going to sit, this space needs to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to macrame this down maybe 2 more, and then I'll measure 1 more time, because this is doubling over, and that total length. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. So now I need to make some decisions. I have these extra threads right here. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
I need to decide where I'm going to take this thread out. And what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to give myself a couple more macrame knots going up. I'm going to glue this down. And then I'm going to come down and macrame over the top of that. It might be just a little bit thicker, but I'm going to, I think it's the strongest connection. What do you say to that, Janice?
Well,
I'm going to add a little bit of glue there too.
If you use the old, so you're bringing that down from on top of that last pearl, and you're bringing it down, right?
Yeah, well, this pearl is finished.
Right.
So I'm finishing it off like here.
Mm-hmm.
in the space between
Yeah.
the clasp and the pearl.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I'm kind of macrameing this backwards. I'm macrameing up rather than down. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tie that knot right there. I'm gonna glue on top of that. I'm gonna let that sit for the moment. Tighten that up. Now, this is the other half of the loop that I'm doing now. So I'm going to get that regular seal-on going through the clasp. Let me angle cut it. There's one. Did you see Terry's question, Janice?
Oh no, I'm staring at what you're doing.
Terry's question, I think, is kind of cool. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm focusing on this, so maybe you want to look at her question and
Yeah.
I'm going to angle cut that.
Question, Kate, with those pearls being so flat, if you butted them bottom to bottom with a couple of macrame stitches between, would they look almost like a whole pearl that had been cut? The answer to that is
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, it's going to look sort of even more rough cut. But yes, you could do two together with the flatter ends to each other and have a larger look. You could also do that, as we've done on several projects. You can put even two pearls together, even round ones, and macrame around the two without any stitches in between, and make that a bead component that you repeat in other parts of your design, or it could be your design.
It would look nice, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to link the archive project micro macrame. So let me do that right now.
This knot doesn't look right to me. So the glue hasn't completely dried, so I'm taking it off. I'm going to flip. I'm not a good upside down macrameer.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to turn this around. Let me see. Because now I want to make these meet. Well, I don't want to make them meet, but I want one more just to be sturdy. There we go. That looks better. Now, what I'm going to do this. We're in sample land here. We're in demo time. Okay. What I would do here in real jewelry making life is I would come in, I put my glue down, I'd let this sit, and I'm going to thread burn these extra strands away. I'm going to do that now because I want these tails to be gone. Okay.
But in real life, we'd let them dry.
We'd let them dry. Yeah.
Okay.
We really, really would. But we're going to just hope that the cauterization of the thread and all of this glue will do what we want it to do.
Kate, we got the thread burner tips back in.
We did. We sure did.
Yes. And they're in the section called back in, but I'm going to link it. I'm going to link it in the chat.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. Remember, this is the loop. So I'm going to come in and macrame. The good thing about this is also I can push that up a little bit if it starts to, I feel like this is inched down a little. So I'm going to push that up. I'm going to measure, because remember, this needs to be 3/4 of an inch. That looks right. That space looked like it was getting a little small. So I'm going to macrame this down. Macrame, macrame, macrame. And just to remind our folks, I'm going to add this one in there. We have a whole section on the website called For the Guys. It's not necessarily just for guys, right? Anybody can wear anything they darn well want to wear. But the designs in the For the Guys section are a little more minimalist, maybe a little more streamlined. So you might want to check that out too. So now this is ready to come around. Okay. So here comes this. There's that loop. Okay. And this is matching. It's about the same length in between because I wanted it to be symmetrical. So I am going to bring this around. I'm going to get my string, go through that loop. Maybe I'll clamp that while I can, and then clamp this up on my board here. Clamp this down so it's nice and tight, because it's hard to macrame when things are loosey-goosey. Let me get another clamp there. Then I'll raise everything up so you can see it. So see here how that configuration, clamp there, it's clamped there. I've got this clamp right here until I can come around and macrame these two pieces of soft flex together. I kind of have it clamped on the loop. There we go. So now I can take that off, push that up. Now remember from before, I added some glue here so that these two glue together. I'm going to cut away some of this extra soft flex so it's not dangling all over the place. We're going to add some more glue right here. And we're going to macrame over that generous dollop of glue. I'm going to pull that down. And we want to make sure that we don't have any gap. See, you can see a little bit of the gap of that soft flex there. So I'm going to tie a couple of knots, and then I'm going to pull this soft flex down so it's tight. There we go. Okay. And you could, though it is staying, and I've got glue all over my hands, but you could really let this sit before you do the macrameing, but I think it's staying now. So I'm just going to go ahead, macrame, 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 macrame that little section that's closed. I'm going to add a little more glue because I feel like we need to really bond this a little bit more. Okay. And Heather, I get it. Heather is saying that sometimes she has a hard time with the gluing section. You know, like here I glued and I felt like there was enough, but now I feel like I need a little bit more glue. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. It's better to add glue, I think, in short spurts rather than one giant dollop so that you don't get glue all over everything. But sometimes you just have to put that bit of glue on, let it sit, and then follow up. You know, that's okay.
Well, Kate, you're just really good at gluing, but it does just take a little patience,
Yeah.
and a little practice.
So see here, I've got that opening right there. I'm going to add a little bit more glue there, a little bit there, a little bit there. And now I'm going to tighten my knot. There we go. So now what I'm going to do, because this join, I don't like the way that this join looks, I'm just going to come in. I've got plenty here, so I'm going to go ahead and clip that away. I am just going to close up that gap by macrameing over it. So see, there we go here. I think I need to go to this side. There we go there. Right, nice and tight. You can hardly see the difference in the diameter of the knots above and below. There's that. There's a little piece of soft flex sticking out there that's going to be a poker. So hang on, I want to make sure that when my Chris wears this, he doesn't have that little piece of soft flex.
Is that his name on his driver's license?
What, my Chris?
My Chris?
No, it's Christopher. But it should be.
Lovely.
Right. So there we go. Now, I know what you would do here, Janice, I think. Let me guess. What you would do, instead of ending it right here, you might come back around this pearl and end it between these two.
Yeah.
Would you?
That's probably what I would do. Or I would at least do, I'd put some glue down.
Yeah.
On just right below the pearl.
Mm-hmm.
If you were using like Tahitian pearls, I would cut enough thread,
Right.
or really, really expensive pearls, I would probably not be using glue.
Right.
But even still, GS Hypo is really benign. I mean, it's such but yeah, I would probably just bring it down just for giggles and do a knot or two with some glue already on the thread.
Yeah, because my worry is that if I cut it here, it might not sit as nicely as it would if this comes down over this second pearl.
Yeah.
It might sit a little cockeyed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring that down. I'll add that glue right there. I'm going to add the glue on the threads. And I'll finish that off right here. One nice and tight, and two nice and tight. There we go. All right. Now, if this was regular jewelry making time and not demo jewelry making time, I would let these knots sit, this glue sit. But I am going to thread burn them away. Yes. So I'm going to come in here, thread burn it, and bring it here. Turn it so I can see it. Just like that. And there we have it.
That looks so good.
Yeah, it really does. And let me show you this. See how it pulls apart. You were saying, you know, it really shows how this clasp works, but it really does. It looks great. And so that is, let me measure and see if I got the measurement right.
So you measure from the middle of the clasp.
In the middle of the clasp.
Or the middle of the button.
Exactly. All the way down. Let me flip this over. It wants to clasp onto. Yep, 8 3/4 on the nose.
Great.
So, and I agree. I like that this little magnetic clasp fits right along with the pearls. I think it looks good.
Especially in that gunmetal.
Yeah, it really looks good, I think.
Mm-hmm. Very clever, Kate.
So I think it's a nice contemporary look for the poetry, right? You know, if I put this on my wrist, it's going to be a bit big, but you know, I think it looks good.
Yeah, it does.
And
very profesh.
Yeah, if we were wrapping it double, you know, even a double wrap like this would look good. So,
so just to circle back for this single strand bracelet, I think if you cut 2.5 yards of thread
of your Ceylon or whatever it is.
Yeah.
2.5.
I think 2.5. You're going to be okay. I think that you won't have to start adding threads. You know. So,
especially if you're making a longer one.
Yeah.
And here's the pearl, but you can use any. We also have this nice chunky monkey. This one, I love these.
They're all really pretty. I have to load them into the poetry class projects.
Yeah. Look at how nice. And then where's the pink one that I started? Where did she go? I don't know. Well, there's that. Maybe it's underneath here. I don't know. It's here somewhere. The other bracelet I was working on, who knows where it has fallen. No one knows. I'll find it. But there you go. There you have it now.
Fun.
So these are all in our Just In section. You can also go to our pearls section. They're in there as well. The new clasp, this is something that we're going to keep as long as it's still available to us. Also, a reminder for those of you who have joined late, if you have ordered Danielle Wicks's December box, January box rather, the one that the winter renewal, one of these clasps, this brass clasp, we're throwing in as a gift to you because Danielle's going to use this in one of her bracelet projects. So if you like this clasp, these clasps also launched today, and you know that Danielle loves using them, you can pick up a few extra. But the one that you're going to use for the box, we are throwing it in as your little holiday gift.
From across the room, we're throwing it in.
We are literally tossing it over and having it in your bag. We are. And those are going to start shipping. Actually, Janice, I'm going to put all of us on the screen. Those are all going to start shipping next week.
That's fantastic. Now, I am going to put in the link because I want everyone to remember January 17th and 18th, and the 16th, the night of the 16th, that's for the Great Beat Extravaganza coming up in January.
That's correct.
So
So
pencil it in your books.
we've got some other things for you to pencil in. And thank you so much, everybody, for your kind words about this project. It was really fun to make. We've got some dates for you that I'll add to the newsletter, but we have coming up next week, Janice and I are going to be on our live together. We have a fun little project that's going to be using some new beads. That's coming up next Wednesday on next week's live. Also, mark your calendars for December 18th. That's also next week. That's our movie night. We're going to have that go out in the newsletter. Is it the 17th? Sorry. It's that Thursday.
Same day. Oh, Thursday?
Is it? No. It's the 17th, Janice. Is that right?
The 17th is the Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
So we're doing Wednesday, Thursday.
I think it's that Wednesday.
Sometime that week,
When we tell you.
which is next week, right?
Our movie night.
It's movie night.
That's right. I believe it's the 17th, that Wednesday,
I have it on there as the Wednesday.
as Wednesday. So if Miranda has it, then that's the right date. The other date that I want you folks to write down is December 27th. That's a Stitch In Saturday. That's when Danielle and I and Neelay Patel from Silver Silk, we're going to do the unboxing. We're going to unbox the winter, Danielle's winter box and Neelay's companion kit. We're going to unbox them all together. If that's not good enough, we're starting, keep your eye out in January, the February monthly mix Danielle's monthly box is coming down the pike. So we'll announce the dates to keep an eye out when we're releasing that one. So we've got so many things.
So many.
For you, but we're going to have a lot of fun. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
So yeah, these clasps just want to be a pack together. So anyway, so that's what's shaken.
I wonder if you could use that clasp as an earring and have something come out the front and something come out the back.
Oh, if it would stick on your ear.
Yeah, if it was strong enough to.
I'll try. It might hurt.
Try it on Miranda.
Oh, here we go. Try it on Miranda. It's on. It's on my ear, but I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
It does. It's pretty comfortable.
Like your ear will be sore if you wear it for hours.
Maybe. I don't know. It's sticking on my ear, Janice.
Well, maybe we could use it as an earring.
Maybe.
It's for an earring.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I love
Have
it.
Miranda wear it.
Yeah, I'll tell her to wear it.
Here.
She's
My lobes is meaty.
she's got meaty lobes. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I'm going to have to go. I think other people are going to have to go too.
All right. Well,
After
we're going.
I have to go take care of my grandson.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, because we're late. We've run a little over. It works on Miranda too. So you asked, we answered. All right. Well, thank you so much, JP. We'll see you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Stay tuned to those newsletters.
Yeah.
And I will update the project to have this project in.
And happy almost Hanukkah.
I know, almost Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Almost. It's
Almost.
latke time. Latke time.
I know.
I'm ready.
Okay,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic weekend, all. Talk to you soon.